some guidelines. I'm coming to the UK, so I have to put the Queen up. So, you know, some of our guidelines are, as an editor, you have to, I actually think as an editor, you have to be warm and fuzzy. That was what was completely missing from my discipline. My group of associate editors, they're all approachable people. I don't have one person that puts on the, I call it the fashion mirror, you know, the fashion mask, and is, you know, unapproachable. And, you know, my discipline, approachability was important. As an editor, you need to get submissions. So shaking hands, kissing babies, telling people, you want their submissions, that you're not going to, you know, really, you're not really going to censor publication. And what I mean by that is, or censor what they do from the methodology. What I mean by all this, there are articles in my journal, I will tell you right now, and I should probably, I'm going to pass these out so you guys can see them. So these are some issues. You guys have seen them. I'll pass these around and you guys can start looking at them. There are actually articles in here. I'll pass those down. That I don't like. I really don't. Whoops, I really don't. I'm not a huge fan of the article itself. However, it was double-blind peer reviewed. It made it through peer review. My two blind review editors liked it. They said it was good. It's not something I would necessarily read or use, but it's scholarship. And also, I don't censor. We have edited issues, like we had one on Latin America, we have one on music culture. I don't really dictate to my guest editors what they have to do or what they can include in the journal. I let them make that decision following the guidelines of the publisher. So in a sense, I don't censor, you know. But one of the things I do as the content editor, as the principal editor, and I always call myself the content editor, is I'm in charge of trafficking, and I'm in charge of making sure the ship runs. I'm in charge of making sure everything runs smoothly. I'm the one that people get mad at if they put the wrong university next to their name. And so I'll tell you all in this room, you are both the queen and the maid. You are not just allowed to be the queen of your journal, you're also the maid. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of physical work. But your associate editors at the same time are there for you as well. So if you're not utilizing your associate editorial team and in a sense of letting them do work but also make decisions, then, you know, that's an opportunity for you, I believe, as the principal editor. And finally, who are really the bosses? These are my bosses. That lady right there and that gentleman right there. I really refer to the Intellect team that I work for them. And so with that regard, you know, I believe that I'm a service provider. You know, I treat every submission, you know, professionally and the same. One of the big things, I never run late. Never. I have submissions that run late. I have people that say, well, I can't get that done on time. I'm like, fine, you're going in the next issue because I can't be late for Bethan. Because one of the things that's important to us as a team is to really obtain higher indexing. And to obtain higher indexing, you can't be late. So we don't run on the academic schedule sometimes, which, as you all probably are aware of, the academic schedule runs a little bit behind schedule sometimes. So I like to stay way ahead of the game. And so that's a strategy that we do. We do challenge Intellect sometimes. I have challenged both James and Bethan, and I have taken the hard message of no, and I go with it and believe that they know best. And we really don't, you know, fight them on business decisions because they know what they're doing. But really, we do believe our journal is a customer service provider. You know, we believe that we're providing a service to academia. We are, you know, there for people to ask us questions, to challenge what we do. Some people have challenged what we do. They have said, we don't like this. In every issue, as, you know, the principal editor, I put in, you know, my letter, we'd be happy to hear your comments. It works. They do send comments to me. I've had comments such as, "Why don't you put me on your editorial board?" Okay, come on board if you want. But so we started with Volume 1. Volume 1 was our flagship issue, and one thing that James did that I really, really liked a lot, that really helped us, and he's probably going to kill me for bringing this out, but I'm going to anyway. He did a sample for me. This was the best thing he ever did. It's not the first issue. This is a free sample. And it, you know, like the sample lady at the grocery store. And people really, really liked this. And he didn't do a lot of them, but they went and we gave them to key people, and it really helped promote the journal. And then we've done special issues. I'm very fortunate enough that I had somebody ask to do my second issue as a special issue. We're going to start. We've got a lot out there. We're going to try to steer clear of them. We're going to try to just do maybe one a year or one every other year, because special issues actually hurt your indexing. So we're going to try to steer clear of that. One thing I suggest for you as you know, editors, something you might want to do to mix it up a bit. We change our cover. Yes, sir.
Can I just, since you said you wanted to make this a conversation,
yeah, absolutely.
You just threw something very interesting to us about a special issue curbing your index. Can you expand that?
So, really, and I think James might hit this. You're going to talk about this afternoon with indexing.
I think yes.
Okay. You know, constantly doing special issues is not really being, and this is where I think it's coming from, is not really being an open journal to submissions. It's restricting the way your submissions are coming in. That's my perspective of it. So like if I have 3 special issues in a row, people are not going to submit to me if they think that these are all that I do. And I've actually had this happen already. I have people that email me that say, "I'm doing a paper on blank, but you don't accept that, right?" I'm like, no, we accept everything. So this year, I'm consciously doing two issues that are general issues, so that I don't lose that customer. I keep calling them customers. That academic who wants to submit their own work. If you're constantly doing special issues, then people are going to view you as a special issue journal. So these are great examples. That's music, and that's costume, that's curatorial costume. That's the only general issue we did in Volume 2. And then in Volume 3, same thing, we had Latin American fashion, and then we had GLBT style, and this was the only, by the way, I want to say thank you to the person who did this, if they're in this is a great cover. Fantastic. And then we did a general issue, and we did a little tribute to Prince on the cover. The thing of it is I backlogged 2 general issues because I keep doing these special issues. So I'm gonna try to get. So this year I had special issues that I'll show you my strategy. I have strategy coming up in a minute. But I told my special issue people I'm moving their issues back, and they were fine with it. Yeah.
I think we can solve our problem here. We will have 2 special issues next year because we have to. But we were given the chance and freedom to include in the general issues as many as we would have published, as if everything was normal.
Right.
So with that sort of...
Doing the mix of the special issue and general?
No, I mean we'll have 1 general issue, but the 1 general issue will include as many articles as we would have, because you gave us the chance to do that.
Yeah, so we're doing a larger issue.
A thick one,
yeah.
But would that affect indexing?
No, as long as you're doing, I would say, at least 1 general issue within a volume. I know there was a specific, with your situation, you had sort of a backlog that we needed to get through.
Right.
But as Joe has said, you need to have at least 1 general issue. I think that's really just so that people who submit to a journal, they're just not put off, and they don't feel like they have to fit a certain criteria, a certain subject area, or you know that they can come forward with anything within the discipline, and know that it can be part of an issue that doesn't need to follow a theme. So yeah, I know we're doing this really big one with you to sort of get through that backlog. But I think once we've got through that, we'll sort of start doing the sort of the more steady schedule of your issues.
Okay. There's another slight point as well. we got some direct feedback from Thomson Reuters.
Yeah.
And what they had said is that if a journal has many, many special issues, even though they're excellent, it can look as if they are needy and that they're unable to generate enough general content to sustain the journal. And that is one of the sub-criteria that they look at, and it will help them decide whether the journal is accepted or not.
Okay.
So no need to panic, and it's a good idea to have special issues. And the amount of special issues that Joe's had has not damaged the journal. But over a period of time, when it comes to getting in the Arts, Humanities Citation Index, etc., they do look at, have you had the ability to sustain quality general issues? Have they got the same number of quality submissions in terms of articles and things like that? But someone's going to talk more directly about that later on, so I'll leave that there.
And on a side note, if you have, we did a special call for papers, and actually it was just Ann and I that started this. We did a call for papers on fashion and branding because Ann and I both are interested in fashion and branding as a form of popular culture, fashion and branding. We had 35 submissions. We had 35 papers submitted to us, and we double-blind peer reviewed them. Most of them made it through. They were really good papers. And if you have money, there's the trick, there's the key, money. What we decided to do is we actually went to James and Bethan and said, we have enough papers to do a side book. So this was actually supposed to be the journal, but it ended up being the book. And it's basic, but what they did, what I actually loved what they did, they actually had these formatted like journal articles, and they're published. They were published on Agenda Connect when the book came out. I don't know if it was successful for them on their end or not. But if you ever do a big topic and you have money, because I actually helped fund this a little bit. I had money left over from a conference that I did, and part of these papers are from that conference as well. I would recommend that, if you have a huge turnout, that this is another idea that you might want to think about doing. I've got 2 general issues actually, and then I have this issue that's they're already, they have all their submissions in. Their submissions are going through double-blind peer review. They had over 30 submissions. And so I have Susan Kaiser and Denise Nicole Green that are doing a special issue for me on fashion and appropriation. And then I have 2 general issues that one of them is completely full and one of them is 75% full. So that's done. Volume 5, here's my problem again. I have 2 special issues that want to come out in that year, and then I'll have a general issue, but I've told my guest editor on luxury that I may move hers back, and she's fine with that if I have enough for 2 issues, which I think I will. And then volume 6 is going to be, I already have a special issue coming out on displaying and negotiating identity, costume, and ethnic dress. So this is where my mind goes, and this is kind of how I, strategize so that we don't die. And I'll have a meeting with my team. We try to have at least one a year, and I'll sit down with them and say, this is where I'm going, is that okay with you? And I get their permission, and they'll say yeah, or they'll say I have a problem with this. And also one of the things my editors will do with me is they'll say, can I change my role, or what else can I do to help? Or that's what Ann was doing last night. She and I were talking, and she's like, what do you want me to do to help? Do you need anything? I'm like, no, I'm doing okay. So that's kind of how I think in my mind. And then the other thing that's really important to us as a journal, of course, is indexing, and Thomson Reuters, lucky me, is right there in my home city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But we are growing, and we are now on the Thomson Reuters Emerging Sourcing and Citation Index, which I think we're gonna be there for the next 3 years. It's maybe 2 or 3 years, 3 years, and then we'll see what happens after that. And that's kind of my conversation.